guys, my name is Alyssa DiCarlo. If you know me already, welcome back. I'm so glad that you guys are here. If you don't know me, I am a published author. So this channel is just kind of a way for me to talk about writing, talk about reading, just kind of a way for me to ramble and stuff. But I'm really glad that you're here, and I am really excited for today's segment because it's a little bit different from what I've done before. Usually I kind of like give some writing advice, talk about, building the world, building characters, all that kind of fun stuff. But today I'm actually going to talk about me and my writing journey and where I started, how I ended up where I am, and just all that fun stuff. So I'm trying out a new part. So if my hair looks weird, I apologize. I'm also finally wearing a shirt that my sister gave me, which is really cute. It's got these cute sleeves. But anyways, I'm really excited because I know it's been a couple of months since I've made a video like this, but I'm starting to kind of get back on a roll here, and I thought that it would be a perfect opportunity for me to start making these videos again. Oop, the hair does not look good behind my ear. If I mess with my hair a lot during this, I apologize. Anyways, so let's get started. Like I said, my name's Alyssa DiCarlo. I actually started writing at a pretty young age. I was 7 when I first started writing, and it's actually kind of cute the way I started it is I was in Girl Scouts and I was a brownie, and we were having a sleepover at my elementary school, and we were sleeping over in the library. So the computer lab was connected to the library. So we did, we split off into groups and we were doing activities and stuff. And one of the activities was you could use the computer lab to write like a short story. So that's what we did. And I actually have it right here. This is one of my prized possessions. And yes, I know stories is spelled wrong. That's because I was 7. But Alyssa's Stories, this is something that I will forever cherish. It's something that, I've moved a couple of times, and especially across the country twice. So it's something that I've been so careful to keep and make sure I don't lose, because this is where it all began. This is the beginning of my writing journey. So I actually have the very first story that I wrote, and it's really cute. My mom bought me this binder when I was young. And because what I used to do is I would type up my stories, I'd print them, and then I'd hang them in my bedroom. So my mom was like, okay, I need you to kind of organize these better. So she got me a binder. She got the laminated, strip things that you can put, I can't think what they're called, to put the stories in and stuff. They're only a page each. And this was the first thing I ever wrote. I wrote it with a girl named Alana that I went to school with. So Alana, if you're watching this, hi. I don't know if you remember this that we wrote, but yes, I have it still. And it was called SpongeBob in Paris. Yes, the first thing I ever wrote was about SpongeBob. Only literally a paragraph long. I don't even know if I want to read it because it's terrible. But it's just really hilarious, looking at how we spelled stuff on here. I mean, we didn't know any better. I don't even think the computer had spell check. But Bikini Bottom, we spelled bikini, B-A-K-I-N-I-I. Bottom, B-O-T-O-M. That's not bad, not bad. But what I did is, for some reason, I just got this euphoric feeling writing this little story about SpongeBob. I loved it. I craved that feeling. I wanted to write more. So I continued with SpongeBob stories. So, next one, SpongeBob Goes Golfing. G-O-S, Ghost Golfing. And then there's SpongeBob's Birthday Party, abbreviated B-Day Party. SpongeBob in Hawaii, and that was actually the last of my little SpongeBob series, I guess my SpongeBob fanfics from when I was 7. But then I kind of moved on to creating my own content. And that's the first one I wrote, I think it was around Christmas time, was The Magic Begins. It was only a page long. It was just about 2 siblings waking up on Christmas morning and hearing Santa's bells and stuff. I probably watched the Polar Express the day before because it kind of gives me that vibe. But, you know, went on from that and I started kind of creating my own things. You know, I have one called Paper Cuts, and it's literally, like, it's the most random topics you could think of. But like I said, I actually dated this one. I said, by Alyssa Page, date 1606. So I was 9 when I wrote, no, 8. I was almost 9 when I wrote that. So I love that I dated that, so I know exactly how old I was. But, it was just random topics like that, like paper cuts I talked about getting a paper cut. It was just the most random thing. And then I started to get into the more kind of advanced stories where they would be more than a page long. I think this is the first one that was actually like 6 pages long. And I thought it was the longest story ever. I was like, oh my God, 6 pages. But it was called The Adventures of Hannah and Joe, which Hannah and Joe were identicals. No, they couldn't be identical. Maybe they were. I made them identical. I guess I didn't know. Okay, I was like 9. Okay. But it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages long. And I wrote that June 27, 2006. So I was 9 then. But, you know, I just really cherish this. I've got quite a few stories in here that I just really cherish them a lot, because whenever I get discouraged about my writing, I always break this out. I look back at it and I think, wow, I went from this, writing 1-page stories about SpongeBob with everything spelled horribly, to having my own actual legit novels. Like, it's kind of crazy. It kind of blows my mind that I was able to do that, you know? And I used to love to do this too. My mom would get me like journals and stuff, and I used to, because they were actual like books, like binded books, I would like to write in them, pretend they were books. It's like, these are like the Precious Moments journals, and I decided to make a Precious Moments series. And this one is called The Haunted Mouse. I don't know, don't ask, I have no idea. But I even wrote on the back, Larry and Rosie are very suspicious about this new man with this new home. When they go to this dwarf house restaurant, they get trapped by the dwarf king. Can Larry and Rosie solve the mystery of the haunted house? I thought it was Haunted Mouse. I don't know. And at the bottom it says, Alyssa Page says, read to find out. I don't know if I want to read. It sounds horrendous. But, copyright 2007 Page Pictures Products. 2007, I was 10. And yeah, and I would hand write, and there's quite a bit actually. Gosh, I numbered the pages. How many pages is it? Oh my goodness, it's over 50 pages. 60. It is 60 pages long. And it's actually kind of cool to see this with me writing, because you can see that I wrote it over actually a couple of years. I would add on to it, and you can see where my handwriting went from being really, really rough, sloppy, 10-year-old, and then it kind of started to change a little bit to a little bit neater, but still kind of rough. And then it kind of gradually gets better. So it's just kind of cool to see. And then it gets actually like pretty good. It's kind of cool to see I literally kind of like watched myself grow up in a way, even though it was probably only like a 3-year time span. I probably stopped writing this when I was like 12 or 13. But just seeing how much my handwriting changed within that time, I think is really, really cool. I'm talking really long on this. So let's move on from that. I continued writing through my teen years and everything. And when I was about, I want to say 14, 15 is when my cat is throwing stuff off of the counter. That's when I started writing like actual novels. I think the first like novel that I finished, which actually it would be more of a novelette. It was maybe 90 pages long. I was actually like 10 or 11 when I finished that, and it was called Leaves. And it was based off of Holes. It was like a juvenile camp, but it was in the woods. That's why I called it Leaves, and they would like literally just rake leaves all the time instead of building holes. Very unoriginal, I know, but you gotta start somewhere, right? So there was that. And then the biggest like story that I really wrote, I would kind of like start a lot of things. I would have a lot of ideas. I'd type a couple of paragraphs, and then I would kind of lose touch with it. But the first like full-blown novel, probably like, I think it was like 250 pages that I finished cover to cover, was called Letters to Annie. Ironically, this is kind of dark, and it's kind of horrifying when I think about it. But what happens in Letters to Annie, it's about two best friends, and her best friend ends up committing suicide from depression, and she leaves her best friend behind a bunch of letters. And it's just letters that basically help Annie through her life and her adolescence and stuff like that. And my best friend Cassidy ended up passing away. She lost her battle with depression. So, you know, I wrote this story while she was going through the beginning of depression and stuff. It's kind of haunting in a way that I don't want to say predicted it, but I wrote something that had to do with that. And this is really tough. It's kind of tough for me to put it into words, and I hope I'm not putting it into words that sound wrong in a sense. But I really know that Cassidy would have loved this story. I think she actually read parts of it before because like I said, I finished it when I was like 16, and she didn't pass away until she was 20. So, and she was always so supportive of my writing. I dedicate a lot of my stuff to her. My very first published book, Catatonic, actually is dedicated to her. You know, she was my best friend. We grew up together. We met in second grade, and we were just inseparable until we were 20. So it's hard living without her, but I really think about her, and I put her into my writing a lot, and she actually really encouraged me. I personally suffer from my own mental health issues. I have diagnosed anxiety, depression. I have a lot of phobias that I struggle with, which is embarrassing. I use that mental health experience and all that kind of stuff, mental illness, and I really love psychology. So it's kind of my way to figure out why our brains work the way they do. And I use a lot of the stuff I've learned from psychology, and I've taken classes in college of psychology, and I used all of that knowledge to put it into my writing. And if you've read my books, if you've read Catatonic, if you've read Switch, you would know that they focus heavily on mental health. So steering away from that, with my journey and stuff, around 15, I know I'm kind of bouncing from subject to subject. I'm trying not to hold you guys too long because I know that video is longer than like 20, 25 minutes. It's kind of like, oh, that's so long. But I'm trying not to ramble here. But around the same age that I wrote Letters to Annie, I really got into fan fiction as well. And I joined Wattpad. I'm still a Wattpad member. No, I'm not gonna say my username. If you know it, awesome. I'm not embarrassed. Yeah, if you find me and you find the fanfics I've written, even within the past couple of years, I own up to it. Hell yeah, I write fanfics. I haven't written one. It's been almost 2 years since I've written one, but yes, I do. I have written them. And I think fan fictions, even though people tend to make fun of people who write them, I think they are a marvelous escape from, you know, because trying to construct your own story with your own characters can be very difficult, and fan fiction kind of gives you that like leverage to start to get into writing novels. And it also helps build fan bases. So the people who actually inspired me and encouraged me to publish Catatonic, I met on Wattpad through writing fan fiction. That's where I gained a pretty decent following. All of those people have really encouraged me, and that's what really kickstarted my publishing career, was all of those people, those readers, those fans. They complete me. And I'm talking about all you guys. If you guys are watching from Wattpad, I love you guys, and you are the reason that I have 2 published novels under my belt at only 23 years old. You guys are the reason, okay? That's how I did this shit. But I just think it's important to always remember your roots. I just think it's a lot of fun. You know, it's a lot of fun to write, to read, and it's just, you know, my journey is only just starting. This was the very beginning when I was 7, and I never stopped. I couldn't stop. When I was in high school, I kind of slowed down a little bit because, you know, being a teenager, I was busy. I had my first job, I had a boyfriend, which is not my husband. I had friends, you know, I didn't have time to write. But when I got back to it, when I got back to that passion, I think I really got back into it when I was like 18. Like I kind of like around 15 to 18, I wrote like a fan fiction, but that was about it. And it didn't have any depth to it at all. But once I got back into it, I was like on a roll. And then Catatonic was born, and Switch was born, and I'm working on a new book called Scarlet Sunday. Ooh, name reveal, I haven't said the name yet. But I'm working on that book, and that's almost, I don't want to say almost done, but it's almost at 50,000 words. So I would say it's almost done. But you know, my journey is just starting. And I think it's exciting because I really wanted to just kind of tell you guys where I came from, how I started out, how I went from being just like maybe like known for fan fictions to actually being known for having legitimate books like that I created. I made these characters from scratch. I made this world, even though yes, it's based out of Chicago. It's a fictional version of Chicago, and it's just, I don't know, I'm just overwhelmed with happiness. I'm proud, and whenever I really get discouraged, like I said, I look back on this. I look back on this, and I'm like, I started from SpongeBob. I started from, I don't even know what the hell this story is about. I couldn't tell you, but I started from this, and I went from that to this, you know? Okay, so we all have to start somewhere. We all have to take that first leap, and however long it takes, you know, it's not an instant thing. You're not going to write, the very first story you ever write is probably not going to be anywhere near perfect. My books still aren't perfect, and I've probably written 60 books at this point, you know, of varying lengths, but I've written a lot, and they're still not perfect. I improve every single day. And I guess that's basically the message from this video. To the spam caller who just called me and interrupted my little speech, you suck. Now I forgot, but basically no journey is too small. You know, everyone has to start from somewhere, and no matter how you get started, it's the end result that makes it so worth it. No matter how long it takes, you know, some people don't get published until later on in life, and that's not a bad thing. Some people never publish, that's okay too. I think the moral of the story is to never let someone else's story or someone else's journey discourage you from yours, because not everyone's is the same, and everyone goes at their own pace. Everyone just has a different story, and that's okay. So anyone who is, you know, aspiring to write, aspiring to become published, aspiring to become a big name someday, keep doing it. Keep working, keep researching, keep writing, and the biggest thing is to keep reading. You need some good inspiration on good writing. Stephen King, Gillian Flynn. I've got a couple like indie authors too. Dawn Hosmer, she is amazing. Brian McBride, he's great. He's super, super good. Biggest thing for me is just treasure where you start out. You know, that first story that you've written, the first book that you've written, hold it near and dear to you, because that's what started this journey, and it's important, it's significant, and it should be framed. It should be put on display like, hey, I did this, because writing is not easy. No matter what anyone says, it's hard. And so to even just write a short story, to even just write a couple of pages of a story that you completely made up, that is awesome. And you know, if you feel like you don't have any support, or you feel like you don't have really anyone to talk to about writing, I love talking about writing. I love talking about reading. So if you ever want to reach out to me with any questions that you have, I really want to start getting into these videos more. So if you have any questions about anything that you want me to really discuss and talk about, I'm happy to make a video for that. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for listening to me kind of ramble on about my journey with writing. Thanks for watching me play with my hair. That's like, it used to be pink, it was red, and then it was pink, and now I can't get that pink out, so now it's just, thank you guys for watching. If you want to meet my new dog, Zeus, come here. Come here, come say hi. This is Zeus. Whoever said to get a husky, it'll be fun, they said. I have enough hair on my floor right now to make a second husky. So, but I love him to pieces, and I love my cat to pieces, who's on the fridge right now, keeping our distance. But thank you guys for watching, and I'm really excited to speak more with you guys and just keep talking about what I love, and I love what I do. So I'm lucky to be able to write and to be able to read and to be able to publish. I'm lucky to be able to do all these things, and you can do it too. Even if it seems like it's far out of reach, if it seems impossible, I promise it's not. So thank you for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment. If you have any questions, if you have any recommendations of what you want to see, let me know. And most of all, please subscribe so you can see more videos of me just talking about, well, mainly rambling about writing. So thank you again. I'm Alyssa DiCarlo. Nice to see you guys again.